Hello friends, welcome to our channel Easy Learnings. Today we'll study about triangles which is a topic in your class 9 NCERT syllabus. So let's start with this topic. In this lesson we would be learning about the triangles, congruency. We'll understand the congruency patterns in triangles. What are the different criteria of congruency? Then the properties of triangle and inequalities in triangles. Now, as we have already studied, we all know what is a triangle. Triangle is a closed figure formed by three intersecting lines. That means a triangle has three sides, three angles, and three vertices. Now, in this case, as you can see, triangle ABC will be denoted as triangle ABC according to the vertices. Now, this triangle has three sides, AB, BC and CA. Three angles which are angle A, angle B and angle C. And three vertices A, B and C. Now we all know vertices and angles are the same thing. These are the corners of the triangle which we can call as the vertices or the angles. Now let's come to the congruence. Now what is congruence? Congruence in other words can be termed as the superimposed figures or exactly same figures. So congruent means equal in all respects of figures whose shapes and sizes both are same. That means which are the exact photocopies or xerox of each other. For example, two circles of the same radii are congruent because they can be placed on top of each other without any difference. Also, we can say the two squares of the same sides measuring the equal length are congruent. Coming to congruent triangles, two triangles are congruent if and only if one of them can be made to superimpose on the other. Now, by superimposing, we mean that we can place the one triangle on the top of the other without any difference in both of them, so as to cover it completely. That means if two triangles ABC and PQR are congruent under the correspondence A congruent to P, B congruent to Q, and C congruent to R, then symbolically it can be expressed as triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. So that means the congruency is dependent on the type of the correspondence or the correspondence of the vertices or the sides. Now, as we have discussed already, the word congruent means equal in all aspects of the figures whose shapes and sizes are same. So for triangles, if the sides and angles of one triangle are equal to the corresponding sides and angles of the other triangle, then they are said to be congruent triangles. Now please be specific about the corresponding sides and the angles. For example, in this figure, we have two triangles ABC and triangle PQR. Now here, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR and it can be symbolically denoted as triangle ABC. This is the sign of congruency, which is congruent to triangle PQR. Now this means that AB is equal to PQ, BC is equals to QR and CA equals to RP. Angle A is equals to angle P, angle B is equals to angle Q, and angle C equals to angle R. That means the vertices A is corresponding to a vertex P, B is corresponding to vertex Q, and C is corresponding to R. So that way we can denote it as triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. Now here we will be using a term CPCT. Now we have to remember it is a short form for corresponding parts of congruent triangles. When two triangles are congruent, the corresponding parts are equal to each other. Now will come to the different criterias of congruency. There can be different congruency rules by which we can prove that the two triangles are congruent. First is your SAS congruence rule. Now by SAS congruence rule, in SAS, S means side, A is the angle, and S again stands for the side. So according to this congruence rule, the two triangles are congruent if two sides and the included angle of one triangle are equal to the sides and the included angle of the other triangle. That means you have to remember here that the angle which is equal should be included between the two equal sides. Now for example, if we take this figure where we have to prove that these two triangles are equal or congruent, triangle AOD and triangle BOC. Now in this figure we can already observe that OA equals to OB and OC equals to OD. Also we can see that angle AOD is equal to angle BOC as they are forming the vertically opposite angles. Therefore they are equal. Now since the two sides and the included angle between the sides are equal to each other, we can say that triangle AOD is congruent to triangle BOC. Now here we have to be specific, or we have to note down that SAS congruence rules hold, but ASS or SSA will not prove that the two triangles are congruent. That means if we are taking two sides and an angle, it should be that the angle is included between the two equal sides. Come to the next criteria, which is ASA. Now I've already told you that A stands for angle and S for sides. So in this case your equal side is included between the two equal angles. Therefore the statement becomes the two triangles are congruent if two angles and the included side of one triangle is equal to two angles and the included side of other triangle. Now suppose we have two triangles ABC and DEF. Here we can see that angle B equals to angle E and angle C equals to angle F. And we have been also given that side BC of triangle ABC is equal to the side EF of triangle DEF. Now if we suppose that AB equals to DE, from the assumptions AB equals to DE and B equals to E and BC equals to EF, we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF as per the angle ASA rule. So the two triangles are congruent if any two pairs of angle and one pair of corresponding sides are equal. We may also call it as the AAS congruence rule. Now we have some more criteria of congruence. One is your SSS congruence rule, which states that if three sides of one triangle are equal to the three sides of the another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. This we all know. If the sides of the triangles of all the sides of the triangles are equal, it will already superimpose the other triangle. That means both the triangles would be congruent to each other. The next congruence rule is RHS congruence rule. This congruence rule works in the case of right angle triangles. So when we consider two right angle triangles, then if the hypotenuse and one side of the triangle is equal to the hypotenuse and one side of the other triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. That means if I have two right angle triangles and one hypotenuse and one side is equal, then the two triangles are congruent. Now note that RHS stands for right angle, hypotenuse and side. That means one right angle which is Again, when we are taking the two right angle triangles, then the right angle, hypotenuse and the side are equal. With this, we come to the properties of triangles, which some of them we know already because we have been studying them since your beginning classes. A triangle in which two sides are equal is called an isosceles triangle, in which two sides are equal. Now, angle opposite to the equal side of an isosceles triangle are equal. That means if the angles which are lying to the opposite of the equal sides, those angles would also be equal. That means an isosceles triangle has two equal angles also. The sides opposite to equal angles of a triangle are equal. But this is the same thing. If a triangle has having equal angles, then the sides are opposite to those angles are also equal. This is your angle sum property. The sum of all the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. Now, if a side of a triangle is produced, the exterior angle so formed is equal to the sum of two interior opposite angles. Now you all know what is this property. This is your exterior angle property, which we have done in other previous videos. Each angle of an equilateral triangle is equal to 60 degrees. Now you all know that an equilateral triangle is an angle which has three equal sides, and an equilateral triangle is equiangular also. And when the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degree, this is fixed. We know that the sum of angles of a triangle is 180 degree. So in case of an equilateral triangle, since all the three angles are equal, so each angle is equal to 60 degree. If the altitude from one vertex of the triangle bisects the base, then the triangle is an isosceles triangle. If we are drawing the altitude from one vertex to the opposite side of the triangle or the base of the triangle, and then that altitude is bisecting the base, then your triangle is an isosceles triangle. I hope you have understood these properties. Now we'll come to the next topic on triangles, which is inequalities in triangles. Now, what are inequalities? If two sides of a triangle are unequal, the angle opposite to the longer side is larger or greater. In case of a triangle, if you can say that sides are sometimes equal also and sometimes they are unequal also. So when the sides are unequal, the angle opposite to the larger side would be the longer side, or the larger side would be greater. In any triangle, the side opposite to the larger angle is longer. This is vice versa. Now, the side opposite to the greater angle would be longer side. The sum of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. If we add up the measurement of two sides of a triangle, it will always come to be greater than the third side. The sum would be always greater than the third side. Look at these examples. We can also call it as angle side relationship theorem, in which the side opposite to the larger angle is the longer side. In this case, you can see that the larger angle is angle A, side opposite to it is BC, and the measurement of that side is the greatest, or this is the longest side. The other property is your triangle inequality theorem. These two inequalities are there in the triangles. One is your angle side relationship and your triangle inequality theorem, which states that sum of the length of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. So in this case, if I have a triangle with three sides measuring A, B and C, then if I add up A plus B, then it would be greater than the third side C. If I add A and C, then it would be greater than B, and if I add B and C, it would always be greater than A. If these inequalities do not exist, a triangle is not possible. We have some more examples to look at. Now in this case, identify the angle with the greatest measure. Now according to the angle side relationship, the angle opposite to the largest side is greater. Now the longest side is BC, that means the largest angle is angle A. In the second example, you have to find the side with the greatest measure. Again, the side opposite to the largest angle would be the greatest. Then the largest angle is angle L, because angle M is 60 degrees, angle N is 30 degrees, and angle L is 90 degrees. So the largest angle is angle L, so the longest side becomes MN. So let's solve one more example based on this inequality. In this figure, you can see that D is a point on the side BC of triangle ABC. It is given to us that AD equals to AC. We have to show that AB is greater than AD. Now, if we consider the triangle DAC, we have been given that AD equals to AC. So, ADC, triangle ADC equal to triangle ACD, angle ACD, because these are the angles opposite to the equal sides. Now, angle ADC is an exterior angle for triangle ABD, angle ADC. So, angle ADC is greater than angle ABD, and angle ACD is greater than angle ABD, or ACB is greater than ABC. Therefore, AB is greater than AC because it is the side opposite to the larger angle in triangle ABC. Or we can say that AB is greater than AD. Hence, AD equals to AC. That's all in this chapter. If you had liked this video, please like, share and subscribe. And for any queries, please leave your comment in the comment box. Till then, happy learning.